Welcome to the Planning Commission meeting of January 20th, 2026. My name is Vern Crow, and I am the chairperson of the commission. The Planning Commission is a citizen body appointed by the City Council. The commission is empowered to make final decisions on certain matters, with those being appealable to the City Council. On other matters, the commission acts in an advisory role to the council, with the council making the final decision. You will have an opportunity to address the commission during the public hearing portion of the meeting. Your testimony is appreciated and encouraged. The commission acts from a written agenda. You will need to fill out a yellow speaker card and give it to the city staff if you wish to speak on an item. Copies of the agenda and the speaker cards are located on the table just outside the main doors. At this time, could you please be sure to silence your cell phones? Thank you. There are 7 members appointed to the Planning Commission, and at this time I will ask the commissioners to introduce themselves and state the district they are representing, starting from my far right, Commissioner Crow.
John Crow, Mayoral District.
Commissioner Gears.
John Gears, Ocotillo District.
Commissioner Hooper.
Brian Hooper, Saguaro District.
Commissioner Ariano.
Sergio Arellano, Yucca District.
Commissioner Johnson Vasquez.
Helena Johnson Vasquez, Choya District.
And again, I'm the chairperson, and I represent Cactus. All of the members of the commission are present, with the exception of Vice Chair Cole. He is currently in the hospital. The Planning Commission receives staff assistance and guidance from the Planning Division, along with the City Attorney's Office. Now we'll go on to approval to the minutes. Do I hear a motion to approve the minutes of December 11th, 2025 Planning Commission's regular meeting?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the minutes of December 11th, 2025 Planning Commission regular meeting as written. All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Mr. Hoskins, are there any withdrawals or continuances this evening?
Mr. Chair, members of the Commission, there are no withdrawals or continuances this evening.
Thank you. As there are none, let's move on to the public hearing items. The purpose of the public hearing is to provide interested parties an opportunity to present testimony for the Commission's consideration. We will follow the same procedures for each item, and those are: I will call the application number. Staff will present their report and answer questions from the Commission. The applicant will be given the opportunity to make a presentation and answer questions from the Commission. Other persons who wish to testify will be asked to do so and answer questions from the Commission as well. The applicant will have an opportunity for closing comments if needed. Staff will be asked for any final comments on the application and procedural guidance. I will then close the public hearing and ask for a motion prior to further discussion among the commissioners. If you wish to speak on an item, you will need to state your name and address for the record. Please be brief and to the point and avoid repetition. I reserve the right to limit the length of the testimony to 3 minutes. All exhibits shown to the Commission become part of the permanent record and must be submitted for the file. Large groups should designate a spokesperson. Applause and other disruptions that delay the hearing will not be tolerated. This evening, we have 6 public hearing items. Our first agenda item is case number CUP 25-15. Ms. Schutte will present the case.
Good evening, chairpersons and commissioners. I will be presenting application CUP 25-15 for TNT Investments to LLC for a retail smoke and vape shop. Today's request is for Planning Commission to approve a conditional use permit for a retail smoke and vape shop in the General Commercial C-2 zoning district. The property is located at the northwest corner of 67th Avenue and Greenway Road. As you can see on the zoning map, the property is zoned General Commercial C-2, so are the properties to its north and west. Properties to its east across from 67th Avenue is zoned Multiple Residence R-5. Property to its south across from Greenway Road is zoned Single Residence Planned Residential Development. The rezoning case, Z-80-34, established the current zoning designation of this property and has no impact on the CUP application being heard today. As shown on the aerial map, this is a fully developed site within an existing small-scale commercial shopping center that is located at a commercial node. This conditional use permit application was submitted by the applicant when they received a code violation notice in September 2025 for operating without a business license. When they applied for their business license application, they were advised to submit the conditional use permit application as required by the Unified Development Code. The applicant is proposing to occupy suites 13 and 14 of the shopping center, which are highlighted in orange color on this site plan. The tenant space is approximately 2,500 square feet in area. The site has existing access off of Broad, 67th Avenue and Greenway Road. Parking and landscaping is existing, and no site improvements are proposed as part of this application. The applicant has completed all necessary steps in the public participation process. No neighborhood meeting was required. Upon receiving the notification letters, the applicant received no communication from the community. The project planner received 4 emails, 1 call, 2 voice messages, all in opposition. The concerns included possibility of underage sales, use proximity to residential areas, and business lighting. The applicant's citizen participation final report is attached. The following is the analysis for the findings for the CUP. The proposed use is consistent with the property's general plan designation of general commercial, as well as with the purpose and intent of the C-2 zoning district. The commercial property has sufficient shared parking, circulation, and access points to accommodate the various uses. Consistent with the city's general plan economic development policies, this is a small local business owner, and the retail smoke and vape shop will provide a specialty retail option. Further, per the submitted project narrative, the business will comply with all applicable local, state, and federal regulations. The shop will also implement appropriate security, safety measures, including strict ID verifications for all purchases, compliance with age restrictions, and installation of security cameras for monitoring the premises. The 2 suites are adequate in size for the proposed use. No physical modifications are required to the site layout or building footprint to accommodate the business on this site. There is adequate access on site and to public roadways. The property has sufficient shared parking to accommodate all uses on site. Lastly, the approval is stipulated to the submitted project narrative to ensure the conditional use permit is for suites 13 and 14 at this location. Staff recommends approval of CUP 25-15, subject to the following stipulation. Development shall be in substantial conformance with the project narrative, date stamped received September 18, 2025. This concludes my presentation, and I'm happy to answer any questions. Please note that the applicant is also present and is willing to answer any questions you might have for them.
Commissioners,
Chair, I've got a question for the applicant.
Commissioner Crowe?
Is the applicant willing to address us?
My name's Tal Tawat, 4509 West Topeka Drive, Glendale, Arizona, 85036.
Appreciate you trying to bring this into compliance. Why didn't you have a business license before?
Usually all my businesses are in Phoenix, so the procedures are different. You just apply with your TPT and you're good to open. But with Glendale, I wasn't kind of ready, didn't read into it enough, and it kind of caught me by surprise. I asked a couple of my friends that do have shops, and they misleaded me.
Were you paying sales tax there in that time?
Yes.
You were remitting it?
Yes, I do have my TPT and everything.
That's it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything from Ms. Schutte? Thank you. Okay, since the applicant's already responded, we're good with that. I don't have any speaker cards. Commissioners, anything else? Commissioner Gears?
With reading all of these, no things, it's another vape shop, vape and smoke shop in the neighborhood, and the only comments they got was they don't want it. And there's another one a mile down the road. So I don't know if Glendale is the smoke and vape shop capital of the state or not, but we have a lot of these. And the idea that you opened a business and it was operating and making money and you had no idea, that's kind of strange. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Gears.
Chair.
Commissioner Hooper?
To segue off of Mr. Gears, we just approved one who was already operating but a few months ago off 67th and Bell. There's also a gigantic smoke shop off 67th and Cactus. To put this one right in between, I mean, we're talking within, 4 miles of each other? That's 3 smoke shops. That's just on 67th Avenue. So I don't know what your opinions are on these things, but it's also less than a quarter mile away from Cactus High School. So that's my 2 cents on it.
Commissioners, anything further?
Permission to speak?
Commissioner Johnson Vasquez.
I think it's a staff question, but does anyone know what the prior business in that location was?
I think it was a church. Oh,
It was Venture Church.
okay.
I don't know if they're still operating or not, or if they've moved to a bigger, better location, but they owned almost that entire complex. And then there's a security firm right there as well. They sell guns.
Thank you.
Okay, the public hearing for case number CUP 25-15 is now closed. Do I hear a motion? Commissioners?
Chairman,
Commissioner Gears?
let me find my notes. I would like to motion to deny the request for CP,
CUP 25-15?
CPU 25-15.
Okay, I have a motion on the floor to deny this request. Do I hear a second?
I'll second that.
I have a second. Any further comments, commissioners, on CUP 25-15? Okay, I have a motion and a second to deny case number CUP 25-15 subject to, to deny 2515. I will now conduct a roll call vote. Commissioner Crowe?
Aye.
Commissioner Gears?
No.
Commissioner Hooper?
I will agree to deny.
Commissioner Ariano?
I believe there was an issue with the vote.
Excuse me, it's a yes vote to deny. So I made a mistake. I want to deny it, so a yes vote.
That's right. This is a vote to deny.
Yes. So I misspoke.
So you are an aye.
Aye or aye.
Commissioner Hooper?
Thank you.
Aye.
Commissioner Ariano?
Aye.
Commissioner Johnson Vasquez? Chair votes aye. So the CUP 2515 has been recommended for denial. Mr. Gruber, what are the next steps in the process?
Chair and Commission, your vote with respect to CUP 25-15 is final, subject to a written appeal received within 15 days.
Thank you, Mr. Gruber. Okay, our next agenda item is case number GPA 25-03 and ZON 25-05. And I will call for a vote separately on these items. Ms. Castaneda will present the case.
Good afternoon, Chairperson Krill, Commissioners. I'll be presenting applications GPA 2503 and ZON 2505 for Glen Village on 62nd. There are 2 requests tonight. One is for the minor minor general plan amendment from general commercial, GC, to high density residential, 12 to 20 dwelling units per acre. Second request is for the rezoning from multiple residence to planned area development. Currently, this property has a designation of general commercial, as does properties to the west and south. To the east are properties with the general designation MDR5, and to the north is LI, which is light industrial. The zoning proposal is for R3 to PAD. Currently, the zoning is consistent with properties to the east, to the north, and properties abutting to the west and south are C2 general commercial. This property is south of Orangewood along both sides of 62nd Avenue. This property is currently comprised of 3 parcels, which are proposed for a PUD amendment. There is existing residential to the north, east, and south. There are vacant properties abutting this site to the west. A little bit of history. The total units that are currently existing on this parcel, and I'll go into detail in the next few slides, were constructed anywhere between 1945 and 1950. The proposal to further develop the site is not permitted per the current zoning given the very unique characteristics of the site, which is why we're now pursuing a PAD amendment as well as a general plan amendment for residential, as the current designation of GC, general commercial, is not consistent with the existing use. There are 3 parcels identified as parcel A, B, and C. Parcel B is western 62nd Avenue. Parcel C is to the south, and parcel A is to the north. Given that these units have been modified and redeveloped, the proposal is to further develop a vacant area to the north. There used to be 3 mobile home units on the vacant area that's outlined in green, and the proposal is to further develop the site, given that the current zoning does not allow for further development, as the units do not meet current standards for R3. This is a conceptual site plan. The current proposal is for 2 attached 2-story units along the vacant area that is abutting Orangewood Avenue, which is currently vacant, along with improvements for landscaping and proposed amenity area. The total size of the combined size of these 3 parcels is 1 acre. As mentioned, 2-story units are proposed with an additional amenity area and open space. The applicant has met all of their public involvement requirements. There was a neighborhood meeting that was held in which he received positive feedback from the neighboring property owners that attended. During that time, there were no other correspondence received by either the applicant or staff. The following is the analysis based on the findings. The site has existing circulation systems, as all of these parcels have direct access to 62nd Avenue. So it would prevent any future accessibility issues for current development as well as any future development. The PAD would allow for further infill development of the existing residential community and for future new development. The PAD would allow for a mixture of different residential uses. It provides flexibility to allow different housing types, which would further enhance the character of the neighborhood. The PAD is designed to address the unique characteristics and the history of the property. The site is an existing residential community, and the PUD is addressing requirements to enhance the overall development that the current zoning would not allow. The proposed amendment will allow consistency with the residential development. The designation would also act as a buffer between the commercial along the west, which is currently vacant, and the existing residential to the east. The proposal will meet the goals of the general plan as it relates to preservation of existing neighborhood and enhancing streetscapes. Staff recommends to move to recommend approval of GPA 2503 as written, and move to recommend approval of ZON 2505 subject to the following stipulation. Development shall be in substantial conformance with the Glen Village on 62nd PAD narrative, final date stamped December 19, 2025. This concludes my presentation. I'll be more than happy to answer any questions.
Commissioners, Commissioner Gears,
Is the city going to do any street improvements on there, or will that be up to the applicant? Sidewalks, streetlights, etc.
Based on the improvements, a sidewalk is required. There are also improvements along Orangewood Avenue that will be reflected at design review.
Thank you.
Commissioners, anything else? Thank you. Okay, would the applicant or applicant's representative like to add anything? If so, come forward, state your name for the record, and make your presentation.
Hello, my name is Yaron Hochdorf, 2820 South Allen School Road, Chandler, 85286. Good evening, Chair and Chairman and Commissioners. Thank you for the opportunity to speak. I also want to thank Jocelyn and Phil and all the staff. I really appreciate your help. It's been a long journey. I just wanted to briefly highlight the improvement we've done already, and to show you how this PAD can help us complete the work and complete the block. So this is how it looked like before. By the way, also most of the pictures are part of the PAD, attached to the PAD exhibits 3 through 6. So this is how we started basically. With unauthorized occupancy, we had a lot of issues, and we had to clean this whole block pretty good from trash and from other things. We had vacant units, property neglect. As you can see, all boarded, and they didn't touch it for a very, very long time. Those are the 3 mobile homes that Jocelyn mentioned before. They were there. We demoed those. It was unsafe. Nothing was up to code. We had a lot of illegal activity, as you can probably imagine, in a vacant block. And we had to address it. It was very hard, but it worked. This is a condition. It's an example of a house. It looks like they didn't touch it from 1945. It's all boarded, and this is how it started. And this is the exact same house after we finished it. It's another example for a house. All the house are fully renovated. We gave it all safe for family. This house, for example, they have a little baby and a 4-year-old kid driving their bicycles around the block, which they never could do it a couple of years ago, obviously. So it was a broken block, and we fixed it, and we basically put a lot of work in it, as you can see in the pictures. Everything is, of course, safe structures, code compliance systems. Everything was inspected, modern interiors. That's about it. And what we just ask is to complete the missing part of the puzzle. That you can see this empty lot attracts a lot of trash. People just hang out there. It's just not good. The neighbors on the east side always asking, what are you going to do? What are you going to do with this lot? So we hopefully, this PAD allows us to continue investing responsibly in the neighborhood. We've already improved, and we respectfully ask for your approval.
Commissioners, any questions? Thank you, sir.
If I can add for the commissioner's question before, by the way, the APS just replaced the transformer for the whole block and all the posts. It was probably a 6 months process, so even that is pretty new and just waiting to be completed.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, I do not have any speaker cards, but are there any members of the audience that would like to speak on this item? Okay, the public hearing for case number GP 25-05 and ZON 25-05 is now closed. Do I hear a motion for GPA 25-03?
Chairman,
Commissioner Gears.
I'd like to move to recommend approval of GPA 25-03 as written.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Commissioners, any further comments or discussions regarding GPA 25-03? Okay, I have a motion and a second to approve case number GPA 25-03 as written. I will now conduct a roll call vote. Commissioner Crowe.
Aye.
Commissioner Gears.
Aye.
Commissioner Hooper.
Aye.
Commissioner Ariano.
Yes.
Commissioner Johnson Vasquez.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Case number GPA 25-03 has been recommended for approval as written. Mr. Gruber, what are the next steps?
Chair and Commission, your recommendation of GPA 25-03 is not final. The recommendation will be forwarded to the City Council for further consideration.
Thank you, sir. Okay, do I hear a motion for ZON 25-05?
Chair,
Commissioner Crowe?
I recommend approval of ZON 25-05, subject to the conditions in the staff report.
Second.
Commissioners, any further discussion for ZON 25-05?
Chairman, I'd just like to thank you for improving the Ocotillo district. I've lived there 48 years, and I appreciate all you're doing. Thank you.
Okay, I have a motion and a second to approve case number ZON 25-05, subject to the stipulations outlined by staff. I will now conduct a roll call vote. Commissioner Crowe.
Aye.
Commissioner Gears.
Aye.
Commissioner Hooper.
Aye.
Commissioner Ariano.
Aye.
Commissioner Johnson Vasquez.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Case number ZON 25-05 has been recommended for approval, subject to stipulations as outlined by staff. Mr. Gruber, what are the next steps?
Chair and Commission, your recommendation of ZON 25-05 will also be forwarded to Council for further consideration.
Thank you, Mr. Gruber. Our next item is case number ZON 25-06. Mr. Lerma will present the case.
Good evening, Chair, members of the Commission. Before you is a zoning action. The applicant is requesting to rezone the subject property from Rural Residence 45 to Planned Area Development to allow for industrial development. Subject property is located south of the southwest corner of Peoria Avenue and Cerroville Avenue. Subject property is about 39 acres in size, as in is located in the Yucca Council District. The property is currently within Maricopa County with a zoning classification of RU43, which allows for single-family residential dwelling units. The site is currently going through an annexation process. Upon annexation, the parcel will receive the most like city zoning of Rural Residence 45. The property to the north, west, and south are currently within the City of Glendale municipal limits with a zoning classification of Planned Area Development. Properties to the east and the county side are zoned RU43. The subject property contains a detached single-family dwelling unit and accessory structure, which will be demolished for future non-residential development. Properties to the north, west, and south are currently being used for agricultural purposes. The property to the east, outside of the municipal limits, are currently being used for low-density, single-family residential uses. The intent of the PAD is to allow for mixed-use development consisting of both commercial and industrial uses. The project proposal will be consistent with other planned development in the surrounding area. The PAD conceptual development plan depicts 3 industrial buildings totaling 675,000 square feet of building area for manufacturing and warehousing use. 3 points of access are proposed along Cerville Avenue to serve as primary access points to the site. The applicant has completed the public notification requirements. A virtual neighborhood meeting was held on September 29, 2025. There were 4 attendees at said meeting. General concerns were raised in relation to the existing roadway conditions on Cerville Avenue, noting that the current roadway conditions are not adequate to support additional development within this area. The conceptual site plan implements design elements to mitigate any negative impact from adjacent incompatible uses. The PAD permitted uses will be exclusively for industrial and commercial uses. The PAD design standards will be the guiding tool to ensure that the building architectural and overall site design are of high quality. The development will be required to complete all required offsite improvements and provide connectivity to adjacent development. With this, staff recommends that the Planning Commission forward a recommendation of approval to City Council for ZON 2506, subject to the following stipulations. Stipulation number 1, development shall be in substantial conformance with the Cerville Logistics PAD narrative. Final date stamped November 21st, 2025. Stipulation number 2, a 55-foot half-street right-of-way will be required along property frontage on Cerville Avenue. An additional 10-foot right-of-way for a total of 65 half-street right-of-way will be required where turn lanes are proposed. Stipulation number 3, all proposed driveways along Cerville Avenue will require 150 feet of storage and a 100-foot taper to meet City of Glendale guidelines. And stipulation number 4, the developer will be required to complete all off-site improvements, which include the construction of half-street roadway, turn lanes, sidewalks, streetlights, and landscaping. Mr. Chair, members of the commission, this concludes my presentation. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Thanks, Mr. Lerma. Commissioners?
Chair.
Commissioner Crowe?
Mr. Lerman, when you got the feedback from the residents that they were concerned about the street being able to support the development, but that you just presented that was part of the plan, did you provide that feedback to the residents? Improving the roadways was part of the plan.
Through the chair, Commissioner Crowe, at that point, the project was still in review. These stipulations were received at the tail end of the review process. The neighbors were noted that right-of-way improvements were going to be required. As far as the details that are included in the stipulations, staff didn't get that deep into it.
Okay. We'll see if they have comments tonight. Thanks.
Thanks, Mr. Lerma. Okay, would the applicant or applicant's representative like to come forward and add anything? If so, state your name for the record and make your presentation.
Good evening, Chair and Commissioners. My name is Jasmine. I'm with Evergreen Devco, 2390 East Camelback Drive, Phoenix, Arizona, 85016. I am present tonight for applicant along with the Gerald family, who is the property owner. Not much to add other than Alex did a great job with the presentation. We did have a neighborhood meeting where we did go into high-level detail for, buffers, setback requirements, landscaping requirements, as well as the off-site improvements along Cerville that would be required with the future development of this property. And that seemed to address his concerns on the call.
Commissioners, anything for Ms. Clifton? Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I don't have any speaker cards, but are there any members here that would like to address this case? Okay, the public hearing for case number ZON 25-06 is now closed. Do I hear a motion?
Mr. Chair,
Commissioner Ariano.
I move with the approval of ZON 25-06, subject to the following stipulations as proposed by the plant, by staff, sorry.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Are there any further comments from the commission on ZON 25-06? Okay, having none, I have a motion and a second to approve case number ZON 25-06, subject to stipulations as outlined by staff. I will now conduct a roll call vote. Commissioner Crowe.
Aye.
Commissioner Gears.
Aye.
Commissioner Hooper.
Aye.
Commissioner Ariano.
Yes.
Commissioner Johnson Vasquez.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Case number ZON 25-06 has been recommended for approval, subject to stipulation as outlined by staff. Mr. Gruber, what are the next steps?
Chair and Commission, your recommendation of ZON 25-06 is not final. Your recommendation will be forwarded to the City Council.
Thank you, sir. Our next case is ZON 25-07. And again, Mr. Lerma will present the case.
Mr. Chair, members of the commission, the item before you is again for a zoning action. The applicant is seeking to rezone the property from from rural residence 45 to planned area development to allow for commercial and industrial development. The 9.4 acre property is located on the corner of Reams Road, on the northwest corner of Reams Road and Myrtle Avenue, and is in the Yucca Council District. The subject property is currently going through an annexation process like the last application. The site is currently within Maricopa County with a zoning classification of RU43. Upon annexation, the property will receive a like city zoning of rural residence 45. The property to the north and west are in Maricopa County with a zoning classification of RU43. The properties to the east and south are in the city of Glendale and are zoned planned area development. The property is currently vacant. The site is located within the vicinity of the Luke Air Force Base and lies within the 70 and 75 noise contour area. The property to the north and west in the county are currently being used as rural residential properties. Parcels to the east and south are currently being used for industrial purposes, which are within the city of Phoenix, within the city of Glendale. The proposed PAD will facilitate development that is consistent with adjacent industrial projects. The PAD will permit flexible development, allowing for a mix of light industrial and commercial land uses. There is no specific use proposed for the site, but a possible option is to utilize the two existing 4-acre lots to include two 13,000 square foot industrial buildings, storage area, and associated required parking as depicted in the conceptual site plan before you. Two drives are proposed along Reams Road, providing individual access that which will maintain 150-foot separation. The proposed access will be is being proposed along Myrtle Avenue. The conceptual site plan before you depicts the building areas within the brown shade, and the gray area is depicted as to be the parking area and outdoor storage area. The applicant has completed the public notification process. A neighborhood meeting was conducted on August 18th, 2025. There were 5 residents who attended said meeting. There were general concerns expressed about industrial and commercial development encroaching into the neighborhood residential rural community. The conceptual site plan demonstrates the effective use of land circulation and site arrangement. The site plan also demonstrates pedestrian connectivity by incorporating sidewalk internally and along the public right-of-way. The project will continue the land use trends in the area related to mixed-use development, primarily focused on commercial and industrial uses. The PED design standards take special consideration to the scale of the overall development. Colors and design patterns will be used to de-emphasize building mass and develop visual interest by creating an overall pleasant aesthetic throughout the development area. With this, staff recommends that the Planning Commission forward a recommendation of approval to City Council for ZON 2507, subject to the following stipulation. Development shall be in substantial conformance with the Breams and Myrtle PAD narrative. Final date stamp November 10th, 2025. Mr. Chair, members of the commission, this concludes my presentation. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Commissioners, anything for Mr. Lerma?
Chair,
Commissioner Crowe?
you've got 13,000 square feet on the plan here. What's the max allowable?
Through the chair, Commissioner Crowe, are you asking about the lot coverage?
Yes.
Give me just a second. Through the PAD narrative, the lot coverage is proposed at 60%.
Just curious, why would we show 13,000 square foot on the, I mean, I can't see anybody going that small, right?
Through the chair, Commissioner Crowe, at this point, again, the applicant doesn't have a specific use. This is just a conceptual site plan to depict how the site might be able to be developed. Based on the multiple land uses that are allowed, based on the use, that's gonna determine the site layout.
It's just the building will be 10 times larger than that is what I'm getting at, most likely. All right, that's it.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Lerma. Okay, would the applicant or applicant's representative like to come forward and add anything? If so, state your name for the record and make your presentation. Welcome.
Good evening, Mr. Chair and Commissioners. Thank you, Alex, for your presentation. For your records, my name is Carolyn Oberholzer. I'm a land use attorney with Bergen, Frakes, Smalley, and Oberholzer, 4343 East Camelback in Phoenix. And I'm here this evening on behalf of Woudenberg Properties, which purchased this land in 2004. And Woudenberg Properties develops small-scale industrial development all over Arizona and a lot in the West Valley. And this project is, as staff mentioned, currently in the county with a special use permit to do some industrial uses. But because of the PAD developments around it, and I don't know how to, where's the clicker to advance? Is that this? Here we go. Thank you. I think some visuals will help. When you can see the context of the size of the buildings around it, this is going to be a much smaller scale development. You could fit this whole property inside one of the buildings. And so this developer typically works with entities like Sunbelt Rentals to do smaller scale industrial yard development similar to what you see on this graphic. And however, because it still has to be annexed and zoned in the city, they don't have any final details with an end user or site plans processed yet. So those would likely occur this summer after hopefully we have all of our final approvals in the coming weeks. And at that time, the site plans would materialize and we would know what the ultimate lot coverage would be. But to Commissioner Crowe's question, yes, the PAD would establish the maximum of 60%. Very likely it will be far lower than that. There's also very significant setback requirements adjacent to residential and adjacent to the area to the north as well. So with that, I'm happy to answer any questions and thank you for your time this evening.
Commissioners, anything for Ms. Oberholzer?
Sure.
Commissioner Gears.
Since you don't really know who's going to be in there, you know, it's a nice residential area. What about lighting and noise? A lot of times when they put a warehouse out west, the neighbors complain about how loud it is and it takes away from their night vision. Do you have any idea how to mitigate that?
So two things through the chair and Commissioner Gears. The PAD establishes lighting limitations on the both height of the fixtures and where they can be placed and the type of shielding. So everything has to be shielded away from the residential, and it comes with an additional setback and height limitation. And then there's also a 8-foot CMU wall requirement for separation to prevent any noise transfer. And then obviously the city's typical ordinances that apply to noise would apply to this property once it's annexed in. Right now, it's governed by the county rules. And you know, the issue from the residences that we heard was really related to the noise of traffic on Reams and a lot of activity on Reams. Their concerns related to this project were more about what's going to happen with Myrtle, which is our southern border. I'm going to go to the site plan exhibit. And so a change that we made from our initial application to in a resubmittal after the neighborhood meeting was we removed improvements to Myrtle. Just like the development immediately south of us, we will be dedicating that right of way to the city, but there are no there's no road proposed to be constructed through there, and that will help to protect the neighborhood. But their concerns were really related to the traffic noise on Reams.
Thank you.
Commissioners, anything else? Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I do not have any speaker cards, but are there any members of the audience that would like to speak to this case? Yes, sir. Come forward with your name and address, please. And you could fill out a speaker card for this young lady over here when you have time.
Do I just press the button? Oh, sorry. My name is Aaron McKay. I live at 7319 North 156th Avenue in Litchfield Park, Arizona. I am directly to the west of this particular development, and I speak on behalf of my neighbors, Matthew Holloway and Terry Heck, who are also adjacent to this property directly to the west. We have no overall objection to the current site plan. In fact, we attended some of the previous meetings for some of the other developments to try and get that access denied on Myrtle, as it's largely kept up by the community, by the Hex and by Tim further down the corner on 156. We just kind of take care of it ourselves, order dirt as necessary, and add gravel. Additionally, my only real concern, in addition to lighting, of course, because I live directly next to it, in my RV, along with the White family who's directly to the south of me. They also live in an RV currently and are rebuilding their home, is the current amount of illegal activity that is occurring on Reams, primarily dumping and a vast amount of street racing, but that is not necessarily related to this particular development. The other thing I would state is that the developments in general have caused a large amount of wanderers and newcomers into the residential neighborhoods, and we've had to be a little more careful about what we are leaving outside, as sometimes things disappear if you leave them alone at night. Beyond that, I have nothing further to add.
Gentlemen, anything for this gentleman?
Thanks for speaking.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay. Ms. Oberholzer, would you like to close that out or make any comments?
Mr. Chair and Commissioners, we've been in contact with Mr. McKay. I think you heard we made revisions responsive to the community's feedback, trying to protect them. So if you have any questions for me after his testimony, I'm happy to answer them.
Okay, gentlemen, anything for Mrs. Oberholzer? Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, the public hearing for case number ZON 25-07 is now closed. Do I hear a motion?
Sure.
Commissioner Crowe?
Motion to approve ZON 25-07, subject to the conditions in the staff report.
Do I hear a second?
Second. Oh.
Commissioner Johnson Vasquez, thank you.
It was faster.
Gentlemen, any further comments on ZON 25-07? Okay, hearing none, I have a motion and a second to approve case number ZON 25-07, subject to the stipulations as outlined by staff. I will now conduct the roll call vote. Commissioner Crowe.
Aye.
Commissioner Gears.
Aye.
Commissioner Hooper.
Aye.
Commissioner Ariano.
Yes.
Commissioner Johnson Vasquez.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Case number ZON 25-07 has been recommended for approval, subject to stipulations as outlined by staff. Mr. Gruber, what are the next steps?
Chair and Commission, your recommendation of ZON 25-07 is not final and will be forwarded to the City Council.
Thank you, sir. Our next agenda item is case number ZON 25-08. Ms. Castaneda will present the case.
Good afternoon again, Chairperson Crow and Commissioners. I'll be presenting case ZON 2508 for Clean Freak Circle K. Tonight's request is to rezone to amend the North 107 PAD to allow a standalone car wash use with ancillary vacuums. As shown on the zoning map, the overall site is zone PAD within the Northern 107 PAD. This site is located on the southwest corner of 107th Avenue and Northern. Properties to the west and south are within Maricopa County. Properties to the north are within the jurisdiction of the City of Peoria. And properties to the east are within City of Glendale jurisdiction, zoned M1. The site outlined in yellow is the subject site that is moving forward with PAD amendment to amend the uses. As shown on the aerial map, this site is currently vacant, as well as the adjacent site to the south. There's an existing Circle K abutting this property. There is a vacant site north along the Peoria jurisdiction, and along the east is the Glendale, it's the Glen Harbor Business Park. There's existing residential abutting the overall PAD site to the west and south. The proposal is to amend the PAD to allow a car wash as a primary use with ancillary use of vacuums, as the current PAD only allows a car wash as an ancillary use to a convenience store. Currently, there is a car wash to the existing Circle K abutting this site, with the proposal to remove the car wash in order to allow this freestanding car wash to potentially be developed with the ancillary vacuums. The site itself is identified as Parcel B, and this site is to be developed with commercial uses. The proposal is for a car wash building of 4,500 square feet with vacuums. The site will have multiple access points, which will be shared with all the other parcels within this PAD. Besides the revision to the uses allowable for the PAD, all other PAD requirements based on development standards will remain. This map outlines the different parcels within this PAD, identified as Parcel A, B, and C. Subject property is Parcel B. The proposal will be to locate the car wash within this site and multiple access points, which are shared currently with the Circle K. One along Northern Avenue and two that are existing along 107th Avenue, one along Circle K, and one south. The applicant has met all of their public involvement requirements. There was a neighborhood meeting that was held in person. There were multiple attendees that were in opposition of the project, in addition to inquiry about the project itself. During the notification process, there were other correspondence that were also received, if you can refer to your final report, in which also showed opposition to the use itself, in addition to inquiries about the project itself. The following is the analysis for the findings of the PAD. The site is master planned with defined shared access points, internal circulation, and design guidelines that allow both residential and commercial uses on the overall PAD site. The proposal is providing a service at a larger scale. As previously reiterated, the PAD allows for car wash as an ancillary use, and the amendment will allow for the primary use allow for it to be a primary use on the subject site. The PAD addresses future uses and buffering for any potential impacts associated with them. Buffering requirements have been established to mitigate any noise or visual impacts from commercial uses to the residential component to the PAD, which is along the southern and western boundary of parcel A and B, which are primarily for commercial uses. The proposal is consistent with the general plan land use goals related to sound growth and has adequately planned transportation systems, given the shared access points to all parcels within this area. As such, staff recommends approval of ZN 2508, subject to the following stipulation. Development shall be in conformance with the Circle K Clean Freak Car Wash PAD narrative dated December 11, 2025. This concludes my presentation. I'll be happy to answer any questions, and the applicant is also here to answer any questions you may have.
Commissioners, anything for Ms. Castaneda? Thank you. Okay, would the applicant or applicant's representative like to come forward and add anything? If so, state your name for the record and make your presentation. Welcome.
Good evening, Chair, members of the Commission. Brendan Ray, 2325 East Camelback, here on behalf of Circle K and Clean Freak. We're certainly appreciative of staff's presentation. I know their report was also very thorough in detailing this request, and we are, I'm going to just provide some additional details on the request based on some of the feedback that we'd received at the neighborhood meeting as we went through this process. Jocelyn correctly and adequately described the site. It's kind of a unique site as we look at it. It's at the transect of multiple jurisdictions. We've got Peoria to the north in the purple. Obviously, we were within the city of Glendale. And then we've got unincorporated Maricopa County west and south of us. So kind of it's a unique spot. Nevertheless, as we look at it in the context of the surrounding area, we know with the business park east of us and the existing Circle K, and I believe there's planned commercial that'll be to the north of it. So we did have a neighborhood meeting, as Jocelyn mentioned. That was held in October of last year. We mailed out 950 letters for this request. 9 people showed up, and most, if not all, of the people that attended that meeting were from the residential neighborhood west and south of what you see outlined there in purple bluish color, the PAD site. Contextually, from a historical standpoint, this is the 2020 approved site plan for the 107th and Northern PAD. You can see on it the Circle K. You can see on it the planned multifamily wrapping the Circle K, and the subject site was planned to be a fast food drive-through restaurant. Obviously, the Circle K has developed. There was, as Jocelyn indicated, an ancillary car wash on the west side of that Circle K building that has been in operation. Since that time, though, that car wash has shut down, and I think they're using it for an ice, kind of an ice store kind of scenario. So contextually, again, to see how this proposed amendment and this proposed car wash fits in, you can see it's replacing where that fast food was. You can see there's some additional land for that multifamily development that, as I understand it, is in the process of seeking plan review from the city so that it might go forth and be built. So this is the site, a little detail about it. It's a little over 4,500 square foot building. Jocelyn talked about the access. We are exceeding the building setback requirements established by the PAD. Some other things that are of significant note on it. We have a significant landscape setback off of Northern. Northern would be the north side. And part of that reason is we are required to dedicate additional right-of-way that does not exist. It's not there today. That dedication of right-of-way is for the planned expansion of Northern Avenue through this section. And so we've made that dedication. There is a 4-foot screen wall along Northern. You can kind of see it vaguely in the details of that plan. And we know that the multifamily developer is constructing an 8-foot high wall that will be on our west side as you look at this image, and on the south side that. We talk about a car wash. Want to also talk about performance standards. And there's some things, this is within the PAD, but just wanted to kind of summarize a couple of things. Unlike a fast food restaurant that's open a lot longer, this car wash operationally is from effectively 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. So it shuts down at night. The winter hours, a little bit less. Obviously, water and water conservation is a big topic of discussion in the Valley, especially when you're talking about a car wash. And so Clean Freak has developed a system, spent lots of time researching it, where 81% of the water that they use is recycled. Goes through, gets filtered, water used and recycled. About 19% of the water that Circle K uses is new water that comes in once it's up and running. Noise, I'll talk about in a little more detail. Obviously, there's a lot of advances in technology, a lot of advances in construction techniques to help mitigate some of the noise as we go through it. And then the last thing is kind of an environmental issue. When we talk about the wastewater discharge from the car wash and its uses, it goes through an extensive filtration system. I'm not going to pretend I know all the details of that system, but what it does is it ensures that the discharge into the city system meets or exceeds the city requirements to take that water back in. So trying to be very cognizant as we move through this in this design. So I wanted to spend a little more time talking about noise, as that is a frequent topic when we talk about car washes, and noise was certainly one of the primary concerns as we visited with some of those neighbors that were a little further south and a little further west of us. The image on the left, as you see, we did our best to try to isolate the noise that this car wash would generate. And you can see that with the blowers on the north end of that building, excuse me, pointing toward Northern Avenue, you can see obviously redder indicating higher noise, and it kind of dissipates as it moves further to the north. Same thing with the south, and you can see as there. That image on the right takes into account the ambient noise. The noise that is generated by the traffic everyday living in the area. And you can kind of see there that this noise from this proposed car wash kind of gets sucked up with the noise coming from 107th Avenue. Obviously, with that expansion, we know how busy that road is. It's only going to get busier, and so the noise will continue to be absorbed with that. On the south, again, you can see there. And so when we talk about, what are we doing, what can we do? And from a noise control, one of the things that we do and was submitted with our application in our noise study is to make sure that we've got a blower system that has a certain decibel level and doesn't exceed, requires a higher level of equipment that's used for it. On that second point, it's using materials within the CMU structure that will house the vacuums, the machines for it. And you can see there putting in sound absorptive panels. And then an additional thing on the nozzles themselves, as strange as it may seem, using different nozzles on the end of a vacuum will actually reduce the decibel level that they put out to where we're not exceeding, what would be expected as we get to the property line. So, in summary, we believe it's a good use for the site, as was indicated. The site already contemplated, or the PAD contemplated, a car wash, and there was an operating car wash there. We are requesting that rather than the car wash be an ancillary use, that it be permitted to be a standalone use with vacuums as well. And so with that, we would request your recommendation for approval. I'll be happy to answer any questions you might have.
Commissioners, anything for Mr. Ray?
Chairman, just one
Mr.
question.
Gears?
Thank you for the presentation. Very good. Is it a manned or a self-serve car wash?
Through the chair, Commissioner Gears, it is, there is an attendant that is on site, but it is a self-service car wash where you will pull up, hit the kiosk, and then pull through the automated car wash, exiting out. There is an attendant on site, obviously, for in case anything goes wrong, picking up trash, debris, things of that sort.
Okay, thank you.
Chair.
Commissioner Hooper.
Do we have any idea why Circle K's car wash closed?
Through the chair, Commissioner Hooper, sorry, I apologize for that. Thank you. Clean Freak has recently been acquired by Car Wash. Clean Freak, the brand itself, has been acquired by Circle K. And so what they are doing in a number of locations where it makes sense, they will pair up a car wash, a Clean Freak, with an existing convenience store. There are also other locations where it will be still a standalone Circle K. Other locations where it's appropriate, there will be a standalone car wash. But it's an effort. Unfortunately, we live in a desert. It's very dusty and dirty, and people use car washes all of the time. So from Circle K's perspective, it made sense to make that acquisition, and they are moving forward with this across the valley.
On that end, what's going to set you apart from the cobblestone that you have to drive past on Northern, or the one that's a mile directly north?
Yeah, through the chair, Commissioner, I don't know that I can definitively say, you're going to see this difference, that difference between car washes. They all primarily serve the function of washing cars. Soap, air blows on it, kind of dries it, vacuums and that like. What we found, though, and it was a question at the neighborhood meeting, why a car wash? I wish there wasn't a demand for it. I'm not privy to Circle K's secret sauce as to why they think a car wash is appropriate at this location. Obviously, with the existing one on site, they know that there is a demand, a need from customers that come to the Circle K for that use, to be able to have an ability to wash their cars as well. And like any convenience store or car wash it is a convenience use. It is people that are driving by that say, oh, I'm in this area. There happens to be a car wash right there. I'm going to pull in and get some gas, grab some food, and hit a car wash.
I didn't expect you to have a scientific answer, but I figured I would at least ask, because it seems like car washes come through here at the commission quite a bit. So obviously there is a demand for them, but given that we are having to deal with the chip plants going north and the amount of water that they're going to take up, our water bills will eventually all go up, including the car washes. So that's just an aside, I guess, if I wanted to get on a soapbox, but that's my 2 cents.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. I think, and Commissioner, I think to that point, that's why Circle K has invested heavily in the recycling of water and the system that's used, the filtration that water is used so that they can reuse it. They're certainly mindful of where we are and the times that we're in.
Commissioners?
Sure. Just
Commissioner
quickly,
Crowe.
Mr. Ray, I really appreciated the noise contour map. That was very helpful. Thank you for providing that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ray.
Thank you.
Okay, I don't have any speaker cards on this case either, so the public hearing for case number ZON 25-08 is now closed. Gentlemen, do I hear a motion?
Mr. Chair,
And lady.
I'd like to move we approve ZON 25-08, subject to the stipulations as outlined by staff.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Commissioners, any further comments on ZON 25-08? Okay, I have a motion and a second to approve case number ZON 25-08, subject to the stipulations as outlined by staff. I will now conduct the roll call vote. Commissioner Crowe.
Aye.
Commissioner Gears.
Aye.
Commissioner Hooper.
No.
Commissioner Ariano.
Yes.
Commissioner Johnson Vasquez.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Okay, case number ZON 25-08 has been recommended for approval, subject to stipulations as outlined by staff. Mr. Gruber, what is the next step?
Chair and Commission, your approval of ZON 25-08 is a recommendation that will be forwarded to the City Council.
Thank you, Mr. Gruber. Our next agenda item is case number ZON 25-13. Ms. Lavelle. I see you back there. You've been waiting a long time.
Good evening, Good evening, Chairperson Crow and Commissioners. Tonight I'll be presenting ZON 25-13 for the Talavi PAD amendment. The request is for a rezone for a PAD amendment to allow an additional drive-through convenience restaurant in the Talavi PAD. The property is located approximately mid-block between 59th and 57th Avenues along Bell Road. The subject site is zoned PAD, and properties to the north and west are zoned general commercial. Depicted here, that's highlighted, is Lot 1C, which is proposing a drive-through use. The property is fully developed with an existing standalone restaurant that has been vacant since 2024. The site takes access by way of a shared driveway that is directly east of the site. The applicant has met all of the public notification requirements and held a neighborhood meeting. Only staff and the applicant were in attendance at the meeting, and no comments were received for the proposal. The proposal is consistent with the current development patterns of the Talavi development and in the surrounding area. The addition of a new drive-through restaurant encourages a revitalization of an underutilized site. The request supports the general plan goal of sound growth management by permitting a use that is complementary with the Talavi master plan development and surrounding neighborhood. Staff recommends approval of ZON 25-13, subject to the following stipulation. Development shall be in substantial conformance with the Talavi PAD amendment narrative, date stamped December 17th, 2025. This concludes my presentation. I am available for any questions. Thank you.
Commissioners, anything for Ms. Lavelle? Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, would the applicant and applicant's representative like to come forward and add anything? If so, state your name for the record and make your presentation. Hi.
Good evening, Chair, Commissioners. My name is Alex Hayes, 2121 East Highland Avenue. This is a really straightforward request, adding one additional convenience use, aka drive-through, to the Talavi PAD. This is going to enable adaptive reuse of an existing vacant restaurant, an improvement of this site with a new concept that's more responsive to market demand and market trends in this area. So I think I'll forego a formal presentation and happy to answer any questions you have.
Commissioners. Commissioner Gears.
So the Chair, Commissioner, the current concept is a Chipotle.
Thank you, sir.
Great, thanks.
Okay, I don't have any speaker cards on this item either. So are there any members in the audience that would like to speak? Okay, hearing none. The public hearing for case number ZON 25-13 is now closed. Do I hear a motion?
Chair,
Commissioner Hooper.
I recommend to approve ZON 25-13, subject to the stipulations dictated in the report.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Any further comments, Commissioners, for ZON 25-13? Okay, I have a motion and a second to approve case number ZON 25-13, subject to the stipulations as outlined by staff. I will now conduct the roll call vote. Commissioner Crowe.
Aye.
Commissioner Gears.
Aye.
Commissioner Hooper.
Aye.
Commissioner Ariano.
Yes.
Commissioner Johnson Vasquez.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Case number ZON 25-13 has been recommended for approval, subject to stipulations as outlined by staff. Mr. Gruber, what are the next steps?
Chair and Commission, your action with respect to case number ZON 25-13 is a recommendation that will be forwarded to City Council for further consideration.
Thank you, Mr. Gruber. Mr. Hoskins, is there any other business this evening?
Mr. Chair, members of the commission, there's no other business.
Thank you, sir. Are there any planning staff reports?
Mr. Chair, members of the commission, there is one staff report, the 2025 Planning Commission Annual Report, and it will be presented by Associate Planner Alejandro Ramos.
Thank you, Mr. Hoskins. Good evening, Chair and Commissioners. Tonight I'll provide a brief overview of the Planning Commission's annual report, which outlines the Commission's roles, responsibilities, membership activity, and key goals and outcomes from 2025. The annual report and detailed case report table are in your packets. The Commissioner's roles and responsibilities are established through the Unified Development Code and City Charter. The Commission serves in an advisory role to the City Council, providing recommendations on a variety of cases I will detail shortly. In 2025, the Commission held 11 public hearings and 2 workshops, with 2 hearings being vacated. Focusing on goals and outcomes, training is identified as a key focus in 2026. The Commission plans to complete at least 2 training sessions this year. A major focus in 2025 was the general plan rewrite. Kickoff meetings began in July, and staff held multiple meetings addressing the steering committee, focus group recommendations, neighborhood and community engagement, and the overall planning process. Additionally, the City responded to House Bills 2720 and 2721 through zoning text amendments. ZTA 2502 focused on owner occupancy requirements and size limitations for accessory dwelling units, while ZTA 2503 addressed middle housing allowances in certain single-family lots near the central business district and within larger developments. Both text amendments were approved and adopted. Before you is a detailed case report summarizing Commission actions throughout the year of 2025. Overall, the cases heard had a 97% approval rate, and this percentage is based on 36 applications. 2 applications were denied. The majority of cases were CUPs, specifically for drive-through restaurants, health and fitness centers, and other retail uses. Overall, the annual report highlights the Planning Commission's continued work to align local regulations with state law and guide development and planning efforts within the city. Chair and Commissioners, thank you for your attention. This concludes my presentation, and I am open to any questions.
Commissioners? Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
I want to just take a second here to welcome our new commissioner, Commissioner Johnson Vasquez.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here. Commissioners, anything further? Is there anyone in the audience that wishes to speak on an item that's not on tonight's agenda? Okay, hearing none, the next regular meeting of the Planning Commission will be held on February 26th at 6 p.m. here in these quarters. If there's no further business, I will now entertain a motion to adjourn.
Chair?
Commissioner Hooper.
I move for a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? We stand adjourned.